Hi, good morning class. Welcome to the next lecture in continuation with the market structure. So this is lecture 11 and in this lecture we are going to discuss about the next type of market structure. Previously in lecture 10 we have discussed about the market structure of perfect competition, features of perfect competition, what are the essential elements of perfect competition, and what are the things that helps in making the market as a perfect market. So in this we are going to have discussed about the second type of market structure, that is about monopoly and its features, and the second is the price discrimination. So the second market structure that we are going to discuss in this is monopoly. The term monopoly has been derived from two Greek words, monos and polis. The term monos means single and polis means a seller. So, monopoly is a state of market in which there is single producer or seller of a particular commodity. If we talk about the perfect competition, there we have discussed that there are number of buyers and sellers selling the same commodity, that is homogeneous product with same price. Now if we talk about monopoly, that means monopoly is a market structure where there is only a single seller selling a commodity. So that area is known as monopoly. Features of monopoly. Now, what are the factors that helps in making the market as a monopoly market? That is, there is a single seller or producer of a particular commodity. There is no close substitutes of the commodity, and no new firm can enter into the market easily. So these are the three essential elements which makes the market as a monopoly. If in practical way we discuss about that what is an example of monopoly, that means railways are the best example, because at every ticket they have decided a price. They are not going to charge the more price according to the distance, according to the area which is covered by the train. Second, there is not yet any substitute of railways. That means there is no traffic and there is chances of accidents is also less. People are more comfortable in traveling through railways. Then there is an availability of food, dinner form or breakfast. So these things distinguish the railways from all the other traveling sources. So that's why railway can be termed as a monopoly. If we say that metros are a substitute of railways, no. Metros are not the substitute of railways. Railways cover the huge distance, that is from Delhi to Kanyakumari. There is the availability of variety of trains, right? Like Palace on Wheels. These are different types of trains that are being introduced according to the comfort of the customers. But if we talk about the metros, so metros travel within the city, they are not travel outside the city. So that means they are not traveling or they are not covering a large distance. So that's why railways are the best example of monopoly, and yet there are no close substitutes of the commodity. No new firm can enter into the market easily. Railways is a market where any other firm cannot enter easily. They have to follow hell number of features, essential elements just to enter in the market structure of monopoly. So these three features plays an eminent role in making a market as a monopoly market. प्राइस डिस्क्रिमिनेशन. इफ़ वी टॉक अबाउट मोनोपोली, कि कभी कभी हम जिस एरिया में रहते हैं उसमें सिर्फ एक ही सब्जी वाले की दुकान होती है, राइट? We are bound to purchase the vegetables from that vegetable seller. So we can say in that particular area that vegetable seller is having a monopoly, और वो किसी और को आने भी नहीं देता है. So that way it is known as monopoly. तो जितने भी एरिया होते हैं वहाँ पे लोगों ने अपना अपना मोनोपोली ट्रेंड बना के रखा है, बट इट इज़ नॉट बाय द गवर्नमेंट, दे आर देयर ओन मोनोपोली मेकर्स, राइट? फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ़ इन लॉकडाउन आपने देखा होगा कि इफ़ आई टॉक अबाउट माई सोसाइटी, सो इन माई सोसाइटी the management has made the availability of only one single vegetable seller. He used to come in our society, sell the vegetable and then leave. We are not supposed to go out of the society, and no other vegetable seller can enter in our society. So we are bound to purchase the commodities from that vegetable seller only. So at that moment of time, that vegetable seller in my society can be termed as a monopoly, because he is a single seller of the vegetable in my society. So that is, by this we can understand the concept of monopoly. Now, price discrimination. Price discrimination, that means in perfect competition we have talked about homogeneous product. That means every seller is selling the same product at same price. If we talk about price discrimination, that means the seller is, in order to earn maximum profit, they can charge different price from different customers. So that is known as price discrimination. In monopoly, there is a single seller of a product called monopolist. The monopolist has control over pricing, demand and supply decision, so sets prices in a way so that maximum profit can be earned. The whole and sole objective of the monopolist is to earn more and more profit by charging high price, by maintaining regular supply, and by maintaining the demand of a commodity available in the market. So by this, the monopolist is in a situation to earn maximum profit as much as he can. The monopolist often charges different prices from different consumers for the same product. Yes, if the vegetable seller is in a good books of the buyer, then he can charge the different prices. Suppose अगर आज की बात करें vegetable seller की, कि लौकी is of 40 rupees per kg. So there are 3 buyers, they went to the same vegetable seller. From one he has charged 40 rupees, from the other he had charged 35 rupees, and from the other third buyer he has charged 30 rupees. So for one single commodity that he is selling in a market, he had charged the different prices of the same commodity from different buyers. So that situation is known as a price discrimination. That means charging different prices from different customers or consumers for the same product. Here the same product is Loki, and he is charging 3 different prices, that is 30, 35 and 40 from 3 different customers. So that is known as price discrimination, charging different prices from different consumers for the same product. This practice of charging different prices is identical for identical product is called price discrimination. So the thing which differentiates the monopoly from perfect competition is that in perfect competition the seller is selling the homogeneous product and charging the same price for the same commodity. But when we discuss about monopoly, so there is a feature called price discrimination, where the seller is charging different prices from different consumer for the same product. So this is known as the price discrimination. According to Robinson, price discrimination is charging different prices for the same product or same price for the differentiated product. That means here the seller is free to charge any price from any of the buyer. Why? Because he is a single seller of that particular commodity. In the words of Dole, discriminatory monopoly means charging different rates from different customers for the same good or service. According to J.S. Baines, price discrimination refers strictly to the practice by a seller to charging different prices from different buyers for the same good. So, इस पे हम एक एग्जांपल और डिस्कस कर सकते हैं चूड़ी का, where the ladies used to purchase the bangles from some single seller, then that seller is charging different prices कि अगर वो बहुत खास जानने वाला है तो he will charge less price. If the customer is new, then he will charge very high price. And if the customer is having a perfect knowledge about the market area and market situation regarding the price and the quality of the product, then the seller can charge a moderate price. So according to the need and desire of the customer, the monopolist will charge the different prices for the same product from different customers. So this is known as price discrimination. Price discrimination is a common pricing strategy used by monopolists having discretionary pricing power just to have a control on the or just to have a power on pricing. The monopolists used to charge different prices from different customers for the same product, and this is known as the price war situation as well. This strategy is practiced by the monopolists to gain market advantage or to capture market position. Why the monopolist is doing these type of practice? Just to capture or just to grab more and more market area and having their command, or to take the maximum advantage of market by grabbing more and more market area of the same commodity. The monopolists are charging different prices for the same product in the form of price discrimination. Now, types of price discrimination. Now, how or on what basis or how the monopolist can charge different prices from different customers. So, there are three types of price discrimination: personal, geographical, and on the basis of use. So on these three bases, the monopolist can follow the concept of price discrimination. So first is personal. Refers to price discrimination when different prices are charged from different individuals. The different prices are charged according to the level of income of consumers as well as their willingness to purchase a product. For example, a doctor charges different fees from poor and rich patients. Yes, the profession or a doctor can be the best example of the monopoly. Why? Because he is charging the different fees, or the fees structure is entirely different for the different categories of patients. Suppose if a patient belongs to a below poverty line, then he is not going to charge a single penny from that customer. If the person is from middle class, then he can charge that much amount that he can easily pay. And if the person belongs to a very high class society, then he can charge a high fees. So that means when a doctor is charging a different fees from poor and rich patients on the basis of his personal contacts, then that is known as price discrimination. And which type of price discrimination? It is personal price discrimination. Second is geographical. That means the making the commodity or making the availability of the commodity according to the area. Refers to price discrimination when the monopolist charges different prices at different places for the same product. This type of discrimination is also called dumping. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल अगर आप ब्रेड परचेज़ करते हैं तो उसमें आपके प्राइसेस अलग अलग होते हैं कि अगर आप इस एरिया से बाय करेंगे तो इतना है और अगर इस एरिया से बाय करेंगे तो इतना है. सो दैट मीन्स there is price discrimination. And which price discrimination? That is geographical. That means on the basis of area, when the seller is charging the different prices for the same commodity by different customers, so that is known as the geographical price discrimination. And the example which you can discuss under this can be of bread. And in some packets of milk also there is the price tag there that यहाँ पर इतना है और अगर आप हिली एरिया से में परचेज करेंगे तो प्राइस टैग इतना है. सो दैट इज known as geographical price discrimination under monopoly. On the basis of use occurs when different prices are charged according to the use of a product. For instance, an electricity supply board charges lower rates for domestic consumption of electricity and higher rates for commercial consumption. Yes, the electricity bill can be the best example of on the basis of use price discrimination. Yes, if the connection is commercial, then the rate or the rate of unit is differ, and if is for domestic consumption then the rate of unit is differ. So this is can be the best example price discrimination on the basis of use. Now, degrees of price discrimination, up to what level the price discrimination can take place. Price discrimination has become widespread in almost every market. In economic jargon, price discrimination is also called monopoly price discrimination or yield management. The degree of price discrimination varies in different markets. Now, there are 3 degrees of price discrimination. First degree price discrimination, second degree price discrimination, third degree price discrimination. Now, what is first degree price discrimination? It refers to a price discrimination in which a monopolist charges the maximum price that each buyer is willing to pay. So, first degree price discrimination, where the monopolist or the seller of a commodity is charging the maximum price which is under the purchasing power of the buyer and which the buyer can easily pay or willingly pay. This is also known as perfect price discrimination as it involves maximum exploitation of consumers. If you are in a need of the commodity and the person is charging a very high prices, at any cost you have to purchase the commodity, that means you are getting exploited as a consumer. Why? Because you are purchasing the commodity at a very high price. So that is known as a perfect price discrimination. In this, consumer fail to enjoy any consumer surplus. Surplus means whatever is the need, you will purchase the good according to your need, but you cannot purchase the goods in bulk. Why? Because there is a feature called price discrimination. First degree is practiced by lawyers and doctors. Yes, the practice of lawyers and doctors can be kept in first degree price discrimination because they have to or they are willing to take the services at any fees. Why? Because the consumer is in a need and by getting themselves exploited, they used to take these services of lawyers and doctors. So the practice of lawyers and doctors can be kept as an example of first degree price discrimination. Second degree price discrimination. It refers to a price discrimination in which buyers are divided into different groups and different prices are charged from these groups depending upon what they are willing to pay. Yes, when the purchasing of the commodity is done by the buyers on the basis of the group. So here the monopolist or the seller used to divide the consumers or the buyers in different groups, and they used to charge different prices with different groups according to the need and desire of the commodity and what the price they are willing to pay. Railways and airline practice this type of price discrimination. Yes, आपने देखा होगा कि रेलवेज और एयरलाइंस में आपकी कैटेगरीज होती हैं, फर्स्ट क्लास, second class, third class, general, sleeper. So these are the categories. That means the services are divided for buyers into different groups, and the railways charge different fares among from these groups. So that is the price discrimination of second degree. In the same way, if we talk about the airline services, then there are different class: economy class, business class. So they used to charge different fare from economy class, and they used to charge different fare from business class. So that means they are charging the different prices for different group of buyers for the services which they are going to consume. So this is known as second degree price discrimination. So first degree price discrimination means the fees or the services of lawyers and doctors, and second degree price discrimination means the railways and airlines practice this type of price discrimination as they are charging the different fares from different customers according to their class or according to their group to which they belong. Third degree price discrimination. It refers to a price discrimination in which the monopolist divides the entire market into sub-markets and different prices are charged in each sub-market. Therefore, third degree price discrimination is also termed as market segmentation. So in third degree price discrimination, in order to capture the more and more market area, the monopolist used to follow this practice of price discrimination, that he divide the market into sub-markets and he used to charge different prices in different markets. So this is known as a price discrimination. Why? Because he is following the feature of market segmentation. Segmentation, that he has divided the market into number of segments, and the monopolist is charging different prices from each market segment. So that is known as the third degree price discrimination. Necessary conditions for price discrimination. Existence of monopoly. Price discrimination can only be practiced if the market structure belongs to the monopoly. Separate market, no contact between buyers, and different elasticity of demand. That means if we talk about monopoly, then the buyers are in no contact between each other. कि जो दो लोग आपस में एक सिंगल कमोडिटी बाय कर रहे हैं एक सिंगल सेलर से, तो उन दोनों का आपस में कोई भी कॉन्टैक्ट नहीं होना चाहिए. वाई? बिकॉज the monopolist is charging different prices from different customers. So that's why there should be no contact between buyers. So these are the four essential characteristics of price discrimination in monopoly market structure. Advantages of price discrimination. Why the person is going to follow the concept of price discrimination? Helps organization to earn revenue and stabilize the business, just to maintain the stability of the business, and in order to generate more and more profit, price discrimination used to follow. Facilitates the expansion plan of organization as more revenue is generated. Benefits customers such as senior citizens and students by providing them discount. Yes, price discrimination कभी कभी हमारे लिए अच्छा भी होता है. It's used to be positive for the students. जब स्टूडेंट्स ट्रैवल करते हैं तो उनके लिए मेट्रो में अलग चार्जेस हैं, या सीनियर सिटीजन्स के लिए अलग फैसिलिटीज़ हैं. So these are the some discounts in the form of price discrimination. So at some point of time there can be advantage of price discrimination, and at some point of time there can be a negative price discrimination. So this is all for this lecture. Now we will meet in the next lecture of managerial economics. Till then, stay safe and be happy. Thank you, class.